today I appreciate the fact that Jennifer, you have agreed to come today and allow me to interview you and to get your story, because we are so proud of your child.
Thank you so much.
Well, he has done extremely well, but I think the majority of that is attributed to you and your follow through and your diligence about brain jogging. But I think that when parents first come and they hear that you are going to do this program, and it's going to be 5 to 7 minutes every morning and 5 to 7 minutes every afternoon, that they say, that is a piece of great. We've been going to tutoring, we've spent hours, we've been driving. You mean we're going to do this program at home? And but I think that you realize what it means to do it 5 to 7 minutes twice a day.
Right.
And I would like for you to share with other parents who are here now, who have made this commitment and they believe that they want to do brain jogging, what your story is. What was it like? A lot of students, parents will say, oh, well, my child is so much worse than this child. Look, he's making straight A's. My child's making F's. Or, what was it like for you when you first came, and what brought you here?
Oh, well, that's a big question. Well, what it used to be like is that I was happy if he could make a C. If that's the best you can do, Faith, then that's great. All I'm asking is that you do the best you can do. And that was his confidence level, and that's how he saw himself too, that if I can just make a C. But now, and we've been doing it close to 3 years now he expects himself to make A's. And if he makes a B's not bad, but he knows that there's area for improvement and things to work on. And that's a big thing that's made a big impact on our whole family, is that that's the way he sees himself. He now knows that he can do it, and that he can expect himself to do it, and that I can expect him to do it. We, early on, I can so relate to that feeling of twice a day, 15 minutes each time. We can do that. Sure, why not? I remember thinking that. Why not? We'll give it a try. And we had tried a lot of things. I definitely have always had the attitude of, I'm not going to leave any stone unturned. If there's something out there that's going to make a difference, we're going to give it a try. And there are a lot of programs out there that are very reputable and have great qualities. We tried Fast for Word, we tried Linda Mood Bell, we had tutors. I bought curriculums and used them at home because I have teaching experience myself. So I feel like I have a pretty wide range of experiences with various programs. This program has by far made the biggest impact and the largest amount of progress for him. Everything else, we take a few little baby steps. We make a little bit of improvement, but for the amount of time and energy and money that we were pouring into these other programs, I haven't found anything else that I can genuinely say compares. All that being said, there's a whole lot more to it than twice a day for 15 minutes. It is a commitment. We take that computer with us everywhere. It is just a part of our travel. When we go to visit grandparents, we take it with us. If he stays with the grandparents for a long weekend while we're out of town, the computer stays, and they have strict instructions that he still needs to brain jog. We went on a Disney cruise, and we carted that computer with us through customs because he brain jogs every morning and every afternoon. He goes to summer camp, and that computer goes with them to summer camp. It travels with us, and it's become just part of the routine, and he doesn't question it anymore because there is no question. He just knows that's just part of what we do. And we're very structured. It's always in the morning. He eats his breakfast, he gets dressed, he brushes his teeth, and he brain jogs. Even on Saturdays and Sundays, that's just part of what we do. On weekdays, he brain jogs when we get home from school right before he starts his homework. Saturdays and Sundays, we try to fit it in sometime in the afternoon.
What have been, I mean, you see that, yes, you hoped to make a C, and you thought that's just the best you can do, just do that. Now he makes A's, but can you tell me anything else that's changed? I mean, how about his behavior, his school, his academic behaviors? Well, how has that been impacted?
He definitely has matured. He's more responsible. He's more motivated to get his work done. I'm not having to sit down at the table with him and say, okay, Faith, now let's do the next one. Now let's do the next one. Now the next one. I can get him started and leave him working, and then I can go take care of other things around the house. And he's more, he's able to take responsibility for his own work and get it done on his own. He also, I'm seeing, just recently, I've seen the new development that he sees things more long term. That if he's got something that's due Friday, he wants to start on it Monday and Tuesday. And a lot of times he'll have it done by Wednesday, and then we can relax and not be up until 10 o'clock at night.
That is huge.
It is.
That is huge. Tell me about his behaviors as far as, well, let's talk about his homework. Let's go back to homework. What did it used to be like for you for homework? How about time elements? Somebody was saying today or yesterday, I said that it appeared to me that parents were spending, or the students were spending actually less time studying. And this one parent said, I don't see how that could be, because each year their grade is more difficult. So I would think that they would need to put more time in each year because of that. And I said, but they seem to need less repetitive work, less, but you tell me what you think. He started in what grade? Third?
Third grade.
And when he was in third grade, how much time was he spending and were you spending helping him?
Hours. I mean, I can't put a number on it, but I know that our evenings, our afternoons were pretty much come home, immediately get started, and continue working until we just couldn't keep going any longer. It's time to go to bed at 10 o'clock. We still have some late nights. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say that it's a breeze. It's still hard work, and they do give them a lot of homework. That's, a lot of times I find myself questioning, is this just a lot of homework, period? The school's just giving a lot of homework, or is this because he's not getting it done as quickly as he could? But I feel more confident now that it's just the kids today, in today's world, they have a lot of homework, and he's just more able to get it done now. And we're not up until 10 o'clock at night, occasionally, but not every single night. It's not a way of life anymore.
Well, it seems to me that what I recollect when he was in third grade was that he would come home and he would have a large amount of work, but a lot of that was work that he did not complete in class.
Yes, that's true.
Or he did not understand, and he did not do.
And I was finding myself doing a lot of reteaching at home. Like I said, because I have a teaching degree, I felt like compelled that, well, I need to make sure he understands this. And I was finding I was spending a lot of afternoons reteaching something that he had not understood the first go around. And so with that one-on-one for me, he could usually get it. But now I'm not having to do that. He already understands what's been covered in class, and now it's just a matter of getting the work done.
And now he is completing his class work.
Yes.
It's homework. It's true homework that he's doing now.
Right. And as far as the studying, you asked me that a minute ago. I think for a lot of us as parents, sometimes it's hard for us to let go. We learned to study a certain way when we were in school, and I find myself sometimes thinking, well, you can't possibly be done. You need to study a little bit more. Come on, let's study some more. But he gets it. He knows it, and I'm quickly fine going over it. And that's a good feeling, to be able to sit down and call some things out to him, and he already knows the answers to the questions I'm asking. I'm not finding that I have to go through and reteach the whole chapter as we review for the test that's tomorrow.
Right. Well, tell me about your home life. I can see how that if you were coming home in the afternoon and you were spending your time before dinner working with him, then getting dinner, then working with him until 10 o'clock at night, it sounds like you had no home life. You had only life with Fate in school.
Right.
Period. So how have your evenings changed now? And how about his own schedule?
Well, he's definitely more able to be involved in some extracurricular activities. He loves Scouts. Scouts is definitely his thing, and he's very involved with that. He played basketball this winter, and of course we have another child, and she's involved with dance and brownies, and so I'm able to spend more time with her and give her the attention that she deserves and needs as well. So yeah, our evenings are definitely more family oriented. I'm able to fix more complete meals, and we can sit down and eat dinner together instead of something that I've just slopped together in the few minutes that I had, in between math and language arts.
So, I said to Fate just a minute ago that I had seen him or spoken with his principal today, and she asked how he was doing, and that she was just so impressed. And I said, Fate, I think that if you're doing any better, there would have to be two of you. And he just beamed. But what I see about Fate, and he was looking at the computer, and he was able to carry on a conversation with me, whereas before it was more he would talk on one subject and he would talk to me, but he was all about talking to me. And now I find that he transitions with conversation far more easily.
Right.
We are seeing lots of research now. Miriam brought up to me a couple of days ago that she said she understood that I didn't let students do video games. And Miriam brought up some research. Would you just share that research with us?
That there was a connection between spending a lot of time doing a video game and Asperger's syndrome. And that alarmed me. I mean, that's a form of autism. And so the autism is on the rise. So now I'm wondering, is that because video games are on the rise? I mean, is there a connection there? And they've definitely linked it with this one type of autism. I just feel like there might be a lot of other areas with learning problems that are affected by video games. And as Shirley explained to me, it rewires the brain, and the child's able to just go into their own little world in the video game versus the real world where it's back and forth. So
The main reason that I had students not doing video games was because of seizures. And if you look on the box, on the back of it, I've never heard what you just said. I haven't read that yet. But on the back of every video game, it says that they may induce seizure activity. But I know that, he's 11 years old. How did you get around him not doing video games? I know that there for a while he did, and can we go through that a little bit, and then how have you adapted to that?
Okay, well that was one of the hardest things to do, and I certainly sympathize with any parent who's trying to cross that bridge, because they love them so much, and when they're having to work so hard and go through so much else, you think, I'm going to take away the one thing that they love so much. But again, it's a commitment you have to make. And I think early on when we did, I might have looked at it as, well, we're going to do this and try it and see if I can see a difference. And it does make a big difference. And it's can't be it's got to be all or nothing. And we found that out as well. We tried for a while to just limit it, very, very monitor how much he was playing. Never was allowed to play during the week, and only on the weekends for 30 minutes, maybe on Friday, and 30 minutes on Saturday. But it's got to it was all he could think about. On Wednesday, he would start asking me, when I get home, when I get home from school on Friday, can I please play video games? And heaven forbid, on Friday afternoon, if I had to run an errand before we went home, he would just fall apart because that's all he wanted to talk about. That's all he could think about. That's all he cared about. And so we finally took the huge step of just completely getting rid of it. We don't have it. It's not an option. It's not something we can argue about. It's just not in our home. And yes, you have to be very creative with coming up with what are they going to do when he has friends come over.
Yeah.
That was a big concern for me because that's what all the kids are doing. But you know, the kids come over and they play outside.
Oh,
And they play,
like we used to do.
and we a lot of times we'll have family game night on a Friday evening, and we'll play board games, and we've had a lot of quality family time that we probably wouldn't have had otherwise. I know families can play the video games together. There are a lot of them now that are 2- and 3-player games, but it's just not the same. And so I guess all I can say to that is I know it is a huge sacrifice to make, but I also can vouch for the difference that it's made. It's taken the progress that we were seeing with the brain jogging to another level.
Wow.
You're gonna see progress if you brain jog, but if you brain jog and give up the video games, you're gonna see even more.
That's great. That's super. I want to ask you to tell me if there is one thing that you can recommend to a parent